Hey everybody, this is Steve Polkowski. I'm just giving everybody the updates for the upcoming season. Um, Putting this in a YouTube because it's a little easier for people to access at their own time, and then you don't got to read through a bazillion slides or email points if I were to send this out in an email. So a lot of different things going on with East Girls Soccer for the upcoming season that may or may not impact people in different ways. So just wanted to give everybody an update on what's going on for next year. Um, First order of business, just a friendly reminder for the pre-tryout, preseason camp that we're going to be doing for everyone that's 7th to 12th grade. We're going to be starting that the first week of June, the first week in June after school gets out. After the 4th of July, we're going to be doing 3 times a week. And at the end of the camp, we're going to be doing the scrimmages with at least Hermantown, hopefully Proctor. They got a new coach, so we're just waiting to see if they're going to participate this year. Remember, there'll be no practices or no camp the week of July 4th because it's the no contact period. And Steve Volz, Louisiana Tech women's soccer coach, will be up here once again in July to help us out. So again, once school gets out, it'll be 1 day a week, and then after the 4th of July, it'll be 3 days a week. I'm going to put the registration in the information below or the video description, so you've got access to the registration within the video too. So if you're getting this, the pre-tryout camp registration will be in a couple different spots. Now for the changes. Greyhound Nation, this has typically been the Thursday after we name teams. The district is changing this to the week before tryouts, which is going to make things a little bit different. So it's going to be the Thursday, August 7th from 5:30 to 6:30 in the auditorium. This is when we're going to meet the new athletic director, and they'll give the spiel that Sean, traditionally has given about what it means to be Greyhounds and staying eligible and things like that. So that's going to be Thursday, August 7th. Typically, we would have our B and C and then our varsity JV meetings after that. We won't have teams then. So we're going to do a 7th and 8th grade question and answer information thing at 5 o'clock before the meeting. And then we'll do the same thing for 9th through 12th graders after. So that'll be kind of, we'll talk, or Cass is actually going to give it because my kid's got a hockey camp. I didn't know this was happening until recently. So my kid's got a hockey camp. Cass is going to be giving information out and doing some question and answer about the upcoming season and tryouts and things like that. So put that in your calendar. If you're out of town, I would say don't freak out about it. I'm going to do those informational videos probably in the next coming weeks about tryouts and team placement and all that stuff. But Greyhound Nation is a week before the season, and then we'll have these great informations and questions and answers before tryouts. So here's our biggest change. For about 20 years, we've had the B and C team that we've kind of operated on our own. The district recognizes it, but we don't get any sort of funding or support in a sense for our B and C teams. That is going to change this year. We're going to be on probationary status, which means they need to see if it's sustainable, even though we've had it for 20 years. So we're on probationary status to make sure the numbers are sustainable. And then 5 years from now, hopefully the B and the C team will be full-blown district teams. What that means for everybody in the logistics that's going to change with this. Prior to the B and the C teams being part of Duluth East activities, we always held off on doing all the registration and stuff like that until after teams were named because we've had as many as 120 people try out and we keep roughly 80. So that's going to change. So this coming year, we're going to have everyone will be doing the registrations before tryouts. This is going to allow the district to get out on the front edge of it and make sure everybody's got a physical on file. So make sure your physicals are on file because I will be notified who is registered and who has physicals before tryouts. And if you're not registered and you don't have your physical on file, you can't try out. Fees will be loaded in after teams are named. So that's going to be a difference as well. So when you guys, I think you go through Infinite Campus and you go and you pay your fees, those will all be loaded in much quicker than they have been in the past because they're getting all the front end stuff done ahead of time. Hey, we're going to run very, very similarly to previous years in terms of fees and busing and games and stuff like that. So that for the B's and the C's is going to remain fairly similar. It's just now we're going to have the booster fee that goes and the district fee, but the price is going to be the same. It's just going to be going into two different pots. So that's how that thing is going to be. Here's one of the two biggest changes. The biggest thing is now every student must be in ISD 709, either at Ordine Middle School or Duluth East High School. In the past, we've been able to kind of get around this because the district hasn't supported the team. It hasn't fully recognized it as part of the district. So I've been able to basically allow Stella, Maris, or Holy Rosary kids to participate in our B and C team programs. That's not the case anymore. We're going through the district for insurance, which is going to be good for us. But what that means is every kid has to be an ISD 709 student in order to participate in B or C team soccer. So have to be at Ordine, have to be at Duluth East. There's some homeschool stuff too. If you're in that boat, let me know. But if you're at Stella Maris or Holy Rosary, unfortunately, you won't be able to play B and C team soccer this year. Okay. The second biggest thing is now, for the first time ever, because we've always had top 40 over here and B and C team over here, and because of insurance and fees and all that stuff, kids weren't able to cross over the lines. Now our B and C team players can get moved up to JV or varsity during the season. We've always done a top 40 because we used to do top 36, and then one year we actually had scabies go through the team. It was a big old mess of things where 7 kids weren't able to play and left our JV team very, very short of players early in the season. So we had bumped up the number of kids on varsity and JV to make sure that if something goofy like that ever happened again, we'd be covered. That goes way back to when Brooke Lena was coaching, so it was a long time ago. And I know Ronnie has also gotten to the end of the season with, between the injuries at varsity and the injuries at JV, wound up playing the last couple games with like 13 kids because we weren't able to move kids from the B team up to JV to help out. Now we can. So in the event of injuries or illness or whatever comes our way, there is now movement between the levels. We're going to continue to, try not to move kids down at all, ever, if we can avoid it. So I'm going to post a team placement video again, like I normally do. But the biggest thing now is B team players. You're now able to get moved to JV, either based on performance or need. So that'll be kind of nice. So that's a change in a positive way for us for sure. So those are the big things on how it's gonna operate organizationally from varsity, JV, B, and C. In terms of the final thoughts, players, just make sure your grades are where they're supposed to be. Remember, your spring grades transfer all the way over into the fall. So if you're ineligible, you got to sit out a long time because it takes a while to get those grades back proven to be up because we start the school year. So make sure your grades are where you're supposed to be. Make sure you're making good decisions, and get ready. We're going to take another step this year to US Bank Stadium. So if you have any questions about the video, please let me know. HollandSoccerCoach@gmail.com. And yeah, remember, don't forget to sign up for the camp. Talk to you later. Bye.